Hi, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs. Today I'm doing a little tips and tricks video for my friend Shallow Water from my YouTube channel. And Shallow's been having a few little issues with how I have been doing the layer, the extra layer on the side when I do the layering to make you extend from a 3 column to a 5 column, and it is a little tricky. I find it the easiest way, and I have a few more options that I can add. I can make it stand out a little bit further down the bottom here. This is one that I did my way. This is the one that we do the normal way, or that I used to do. So as you can see, I have this sort of, it's an extra piece of band here at the bottom, which we don't have this way. And also I can either make it straight like this, or I can make it slightly puffier at the top with my other way. I can do both options with this, but this is just one option. The original way of doing it was layers. Now, and I used to do that back in, gosh, I think it was February 2014 is when I first started doing layers, and people were complaining that it was very difficult to see the different kind of layers. Now, this technique of layering, where you put the bands on top of each other, is PG Loomis's technique. Now, for those of you that don't know, he's been a bit quiet lately, but he is one of the founders. He made the first figures with Rainbow Loom bands. He is phenomenal designer. He first started this technique of layering like this, of being able to extend your 3 columns to 5 in his Hello Kitty tutorial, which I'm going to post the link to so that you can go and see. It's the first thing I ever made when I loomed, and he did that back in November of 2013, where he extended Hello Kitty's dress, so you didn't need to have the extended loom or 2 looms to be able to make it. Phenomenal man. Beautiful designs, so please check out. I'm going to put the link, as I said, in this. But anyway, let me show you how you would go about. I've made a figure. I've just done it with white bands. I'm doing my crossover bands in red, so you can see this is a single band that I've just stretched across. These 2 are a single band that I've basically taken, stretched, figure 8, looped on itself, and put across. So these 2 are looped on themselves to make them tighter for the waist. Now, this is to show you how to do the extension for the skirts for my princesses. Okay, so that's why I'm doing this, to show how to do it for my princess dresses. So instead of doing the extensions on the side, if you want to do this so that you're actually layering, and I'm going to do my layer in black so you can see it very quickly. I've laid all my bands that I would normally have, okay, except I haven't done the crossovers, so I've gone all the way down. So instead, before putting my crossover bands on, I would put my next layer, and you're going to start where the waist finishes. So it's going to be, you've got a pair of white here and a pair of black, and you do these. You wouldn't do black, you would do whatever colour you want for your skirt, or whatever fits in with the design. So for example, if I was doing Aurora, this layer would be in the dark pink, and the under layer, the 3 columns on my loom, would be in the light pink, and then I would have done the dark pink as my layer on top, like I'm doing here. So you do your layer like this, and you add 2 bands on top. And this is where people found it quite tricky, because where you were using, if you were using the same colour, it was very difficult to see, which is why I'm trying to do it in black so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Now I'm doing my crossover bands, as I said, in red so you can see, and I'm doing my end caps in red so you can see. So for my crossover band, I would take a red band now, okay, and I place it across on top. So I've got my layer, my white layer, my black layer, and I put my crossover band on top of my black layer like this, so it's not on top of the white layer. And then the other thing I have to do to be able to start this off is to put an end cap. So whereas I put my end cap in the middle here for my technique, we're putting an end cap on the bottom here. I first did this. This is how I did my original Snow White dress, was like this back in, as I said, February of 2014. I would never have been able to do it without having done the Hello Kitty design first. Alright, so at this point what we're going to do to loop this up is you dig down past that end cap and you just are going for that first layer, which in my case is the 2 black bands. Okay, so you're just going to loop up this first layer. I'm going to use a smaller hook. Push the crossover band back with the back of your hook and loop up that first layer. And I'm going to call that my black bands. And you want to make sure you've pushed everything down. So you loop up the black bands on both sides. Like this, and you can tell that they're looped up because they have this little teardrop shape. Now the tricky part of this is what you have to do is take these black bands off your loom, but you still need to keep them connected at the top here and at the bottom. So what you do, you put your finger up on the top here and you push your hook between the black and the white. So you've got your white under here and your black up here. You're going to put your finger here and then lift these black bands off your loom and pull them to the side of your loom, leaving your crossover bands in place like that. Okay, so they're on the side now like this. Turn it around. You're going to do the same. I keep my finger on the bottom and keep my finger on the top, push my hook between the black and white bands, and you pull this layer off, but make sure that your crossover bands stay where they need to be. Now if you want to add an extra to make it a bit puffier up the top here, what you could do is take an extra pair of bands for either side, lift these up and place on like so, but that is similar to how I do my ones. You don't have to do that, okay, but it is an option if you want to make it slightly puffier, but otherwise you could just leave exactly like it is here. Again, you take this off, slide through and place back, and again that is an option, you don't have to do it. Now to loop the bottom layer up, you have to dig down past that red end cap and grab the 2 top white bands and loop to the center, down past the 2 and loop to the center, and then this center one you're going to dig down all the way to the bottom to grab those 2 white bands. Same here, push your hook past the red end cap and loop up and loop up. It's just another technique. Loop up, loop up. Now depending on if you want now for this one, as you can see, I've looped the white over the black. Okay, you can see I've got the white band over the black and the black are captured in between. But in my case with this one, I wanted the pink to be the predominant color. So it's up to you as to whether you just loop this straight up, or on the other side I'll show you what your option could be if you want the extension to be the main color that you see. What you would do is you lift up the black one side, loop up like that, and then you would put the black bands back, and that would make it so that the predominant color would be the black bands instead of the white bands. And again, you just keep looping up to the arms like so. Push the crossover bands back with the back of your hook, and then we'll do the center Now obviously extensions like this can be smaller or large. This one is large because it's for an entire skirt, but you can do it to make a body bigger. You could make a body five columns wide instead of 3 columns wide, or you can extend it to make trousers fatter instead of, you know, skinny drain pipes and stuff like that. It's a nice option to have, a trick in your arsenal. I'm just going to tie off with black bands as I have them right here. Push your hook down. Let's show you what the result is going to be. Now remember, each side is different. I've got one where the predominant colour is the opposite from the other side. Take off from your loom. I would definitely advise to not just pull it off. You will break bands. Where you have multiple bands in the same spot, use a hook. Where it's just, you know, 2 bands, it's fine to just pull it off. So from here on down. So here we have our little figure. As you can see, on one, the black is the predominant colour that you see, which is how I wanted it for here. And then on this side, it would be the white, so the continuation of the dress. And as you can see, it's nicely enclosed between. You have your crossover bands here. So it works either way. So I really hope you you find that a help. We call it layering, where you layer it on top of each other, a layered extension. And as I mentioned, PG Lumacy was the person that that did this technique first. Enjoy. I hope this helps you. Take care.